Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Deep Dive Podcast. This is episode 17. Tonight we do have Dave from Shared.Paranormal on with us. So it's good to have him in. Yes, hello. Thank you so much for joining.
Welcome, Dave.
Oops,
How's it
we will.
going?
It's going. We'll talk to you here in just a second. Ghost Quest Solo is going to be here Sunday, May 10th at noon Central. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Ghostlight Paranormal is going to be here Wednesday, May 17th, or sorry, May 13th at 7 p.m. So those are the guests that we have coming up. I had a squirrel moment. Hang on one second. All right. So, Dave, thank you so much for joining the podcast. Tell us about Shared.Paranormal.
Well, Shared Paranormal is a small group from Belleville, Michigan. One of our members is actually in New York. Keely is in New York, and everybody else is pretty close together. But I formed the group to further my interest in paranormal investigating. I had done some in the past, pretty much just jumping into other groups, and I wanted to form my own group. It kind of mirrors my policy on my podcast as well. We just basically share stories and experiences. It's kind of laid back. Um, Anybody's welcome to be on. In fact, I picked Keely for my team because she kind of asked me if she could be on one of my episodes, and it was just a one-on-one. It was a great episode, so um, I asked her after that if she wanted to be part of the team. So she's my webmaster, and she does a lot of things that I don't have time to do, so she's a very crucial part of the team. But yeah, it just formed out of interest in exploring more. I think to date I've done about 10 investigations.
Nice, nice. How long have you been going?
Um, Probably roughly about 8 years or so.
8 years?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Hello, Danielle. Thank you for joining us. Um, so, do you do mainly locations or do you do private? Do you do
I've,
a little both?
I've done both. Recently, I've had a lot of interest in doing a few cemeteries. I actually did a live from Soup Cemetery here in Belleville a couple nights ago. It was a great investigation. We caught a lot of interesting things on there. I want to go back with some more people actually. Um, I plan on going to Bachelor's Grove. I've heard a lot about that spot as well. So I got a few cemeteries lined up, but for the most part, locations like Bruce Mansion. I've been to Ohio State Reformatory twice. Last time I was there, I got to investigate with some of the ghost hunters show people, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
People I've lost for a long time. Yeah, it's a mix and match of things, just whatever interests me, from former funeral homes to graveyards, cemeteries.
Perfect, perfect. So, there's 3 or 4 of you. Was that what it was?
Yes, four. Right now.
4.
Currently
Perfect,
still recruiting, so
perfect. Do you guys mainly stay around um, like Michigan? Do you travel all over?
I got plans to go to Indiana and a couple of places south, but so far we had a Halloween event in Alger, Michigan at the old John Robinson Hospital, which was a great time. It was overnight. There was 13 people there, guests of ours, and um, we, of course, we had Perry Cheney coming up. That's going to be a grand scale project, but that's coming up on the 22nd. Just as we formed a team, we haven't done a whole lot together yet. Just a few investigations.
That's good though, because um, sometimes you just gotta take it in stride and gain momentum as you go along.
I
So
think the catalyst for me was some of the experience I had when I was younger. That got me interested in the paranormal. Um, things from the other side, I guess you'd say. But yeah, collectively, I've had a lot of experiences, and I am a sensitive. I found out, so I know where there's been somebody around. I'll look
Okay.
at
We are actually doing really good. Danielle, thanks for asking. Hello, Roger with Potter.
Roger.
Um, Go ahead, Tim.
No, I said hello, Roger. That's all.
Oh, yep. Go ahead, Tim, because squirrel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome, Dave. Glad you could be on the show with us tonight.
Happy to be
So,
here.
um, funeral funeral homes. You actually investigate funeral homes. I
Yes.
I had never thought about it, nor have I ever been asked to. So, tell me about that experience.
Um, it's 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 safe to say that there are people who went all the way through the funeral process and still don't realize where they're at.
Okay.
They don't make it to the gravesite. They just hang out with other spirits at the funeral home. So they're usually really active um, and reactive to things that you say and do.
Okay.
I like to use vintage music in my investigations as a trigger object from time to time. When I
Okay.
know it's been a funeral home that's been around for quite a while, you play some 30s and 40s music or some jazz, to bring them out.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
I was,
you have to look into a funeral home. You're
yeah.
talking about.
I was going to ask, do you ever play any songs that are played like during a funeral? You know,
no, I'd rather lean into something I think that they would like that was a happier time for them, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
investigated the old Lamar Hotel in Grand Rapids, and it's been empty for 30 years. It was a brothel on one floor. It was a bar on the bottom floor, and it was a hotel as well. So the activity there ramped up when I played some 1920s and 30s music. Actually, there was a house band that played there in the bar, and I was able to get a recording of that band, and that had a big effect on the spirits that still were there. So,
Oh, cool.
Cool, cool.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Would you
Hey,
mind
Dave.
sharing? Would you mind? I'm sorry. Would you mind sharing some of your? You had younger experiences. Would you mind sharing what some of those were, or one of them
absolutely,
that you
absolutely.
remember?
The one that stands out mostly when I was just out of high school, I think I was 19. I was asked to house sit for over the road trucking couple that had two kids. So I was basically a nanny, for better terms, watching over the house, watching to make sure the kids got fed and off to school and that kind of thing. Um, After a while, they neglected to send money home and some of the utilities got shut off. So we were sitting there without power one night and playing Monopoly by candlelight. And my best
Hmm.
friend was there with me. And we heard some noise upstairs. And we're like, well, somebody's trying to prank us. Somebody's trying to scare us because they know the power's out. So we went up to check it out. All the windows were locked. All the doors were locked. There was nobody up there. And as I followed my friend down the stairs, I closed the door behind me, and on the other side of my hand, I felt two knocks, really loud, really sharp knocks on the other side of the door, where there was absolutely nothing there a moment before that.
Hmm.
After I felt and heard those knocks, um, best way I could describe it, a thin wall of ice passed through me, and just from one side of my body to the other, and it also passed through my best friend the same way.
Okay.
Um, so I can only assume that it was an entity passing through us, whether it was malevolent or not, or just playful. I don't know, but we sat down um, on the couch, and it did it again, and it went through all four of us. So we
Um,
jumped up. So we jumped up and said, "All right, you know what? We're going to get out of here. We're going to go somewhere else. I don't care where we go, but we're leaving." So we were headed out the back door, going up the alley, and the parents were coming down the alley to come home, and the mother had her arms full of stuff. She dropped everything, looked at the upper window of the house, and just screamed. And of course, we had our backs to the house. We didn't know what the reaction was that she was trying to. So we all turned around, and in the window was an apparition of just a head floating in the middle of the window.
Wow.
So there was something up there, for sure.
That's
Come to find
crazy.
out, come to find out later that they had actually buried a couple bodies in the basement that nobody knew about.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
So yeah, that's probably why it stands out.
Wow. I can imagine why. With all that activity going on and finding out the bodies in the basement, that would be
I won't even drive by that house anymore. It's too,
not going over there.
no.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit. Is it still there? I mean, is it?
As far as I know, yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. That's
probably had
interesting.
probably had 10 different owners since then, but
Oh, I wonder why. That's cool.
yeah,
That's quite the experience.
yeah.
So can you tell me, we'll switch gears a little bit. Can you tell me about, you say you're still trying to recruit people?
Yeah,
Tell me about the process and what you're doing there.
people that come in contact with me, whether they are guests for an investigation that I'm having or something like that, I'll open up dialogue, especially some local people contacted me and said, I'm interested in this. What do I do? And I said, well, we need to just get together and talk about it, whatever your interests are. Like I have Alex, who she was a former mortician, and she's also an archaeologist and anthropologist. So she brings that skill set to investigations, which is going to come in really handy at Fairchain because
Okay.
it's archaeologically protected. I had to sign off on that. So that's her skill set. Maddie, who was at my Halloween overnight event, she brought all her own equipment with her, which is kind of rare for somebody who's just a guest investigating somewhere. But when I
Gotcha.
saw her skill set and the evidence she was capturing, I told her she had to join my team as well. So,
No.
but I'll have just open a dialogue with people that I'll wear my T-shirt somewhere. I was on vacation recently, and I talked to somebody on the cruise ship we were on.
Okay.
Paranormal. She's like, well, my husband won't go, but she goes, oh, I'm going to look you up and make sure that I get to go to some of your events. I said, okay, that's great. And, there's openings on the team. And she was just like, wow, I could dream, to be on the paranormal team. Like, you don't have to be local to be on my team. As a matter of fact, anybody know who Catherine Cirillos is? The medium?
Okay.
She does remote viewing for me during investigations, and she's from Athens, Greece.
Oh,
oh,
good. Cool.
She's very good at it. She can tell me everything that's going on around that.
Wow.
that's awesome.
That is very awesome. Sound like you got yourself surrounded by some really good people to investigate with. So
I do. I'm
that's
very lucky.
that's cool. That's it. Okay. I see that Myra is found. She's here now.
Yeah, we've had a few people pop in. So hello.
Hey,
Um,
everybody.
yeah, Mara, and so have you been to Mortuary Manor?
Not yet.
Not yet,
Hmm.
because that was brought up a little bit ago. Danielle brought that up.
Hmm.
Looking for a great funeral home, Mortuary Manor in Toledo.
Not far from me, actually.
Yeah,
About
I was
25,
gonna,
30
That's
minutes.
cool. Wow.
and I was gonna say I know that one's getting to be pretty popular on the paranormal circuit. And Roger was there in February. There's some other teams that were just there recently, so it's on my
Nice.
bucket list.
Yeah, I'm lucky where I'm at because I'm lower Michigan, and there's a lot of Michigan anyway, but not far from Indiana, not far from Ohio,
Gotcha.
not really that far from Chicago, and there's a lot that goes on there as well. But yeah, I'm in a great location to spread out
Awesome. That
visit
is
some of these
awesome.
places.
That is
So
awesome.
on your all your locations that you go to, tell us about a place you went to that you may not go back to, or you had a pretty scary, so to speak.
Hmm. That's a tough
Or are
one.
you still waiting to encounter that?
I don't think I, as of yet, have been to a location that I wouldn't go back to. Now, the cemetery we were at the other night, um, I went there and I shot a promo for another investigation. And I was there about 50 seconds because, being a sensitive, I could feel all the eyes on me. Like, I'm not going to hang out here very long because they're very active tonight and I don't have time to talk to them. So it just felt like they were closing in on me. That's the feeling I got. As far as scary, I used to work at a hospital and it was a psychiatric hospital. Um, I've been in security for over 20 years, so I've been in a lot of places. But the basement, which used to be the morgue of the hospital, was repurposed for storing files. And I went down there, and right away I got a sense of somebody was present. Very heavy, very, very. I pick up on dread and sadness a lot when I'm in a place like that. Somebody had a bad way, if they died in a bad way, I can pick that up. But I put my recorder down there. And you could hear me walking away. You could hear me get in the elevator. And for an hour and 13 minutes after I left, there were disembodied voices. The shelves were rattling. Somebody got close to my recorder and blew their breath into it, like,
Oh,
just slip the headphones on. You have a whole hour of unbelievable voices and sounds. And there was nothing down there to cause any of that. There was not next to the furnace room or nothing. It was like complete
wow,
and utter chaos down there. I don't know how many spirits there ended up being down there, but yeah, that was pretty
wow,
scary.
yeah, that's a lot
That's
of activity.
that's crazy. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Yeah, yeah. So talking about that experience right there and the cemetery experience,
Hmm.
yeah, that's enough of a heebie-jeebie moment
Yeah, yeah.
for
That's for
sure.
sure. That's
For
for sure.
sure.
That's for sure.
For
So
sure, for
what
sure.
what kind of equipment do you have, or do you use, or do you use any at all?
I do. I try to. I'm kind of leaning more towards into debunking things, which is probably what I should be doing most of the time anyway.
Mm,
I do have a Synergy speaker. I have uh, Death Bell. I have. I usually use my phone for EVPs because I can go over the evidence a lot easier with that. Put my Bluetooth headset on, and I can
okay,
hear a lot better what I'm picking up. So I almost always use my phone. I also use a couple of old cell phones as static cameras. I caught some good video on that, and they're easy to put wherever I want to put them. So I just let them run and then review the evidence later.
okay.
Um, that's about it. Some cat balls from time to time. I know people like, oh, cat balls. They
Hmm.
pick up too much, but
But
We like our dead bell, so
yeah,
yeah.
we
Well,
do.
when I was at the Grand Lamar Hotel, there was also a tattoo parlor in that building that had been there for a while. And the owner was there with us investigating. I took a cat ball out and I put it on her toolbox, and it rolled towards the other side of the toolbox. I'm like, oh, the floor is not level. And as we were standing there, it rolled back the other way,
wow.
and I'm like,
Oh,
okay, that wasn't the floor. That I said, you can just
Yeah,
keep that cat ball right there if you want. You can have it. So,
it's
yeah,
all yours. Oh,
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
go
That
ahead,
is
Brendan.
awesome. Um, if you guys out there watching have any questions for David, please chime in the comments and let us know. Um, so you pick up on all of these. Do you think are you an empath? Are you a medium? Like what do you feel or classify yourself as?
I just classify myself as a sensitive. I don't. I mean, I could probably work and hone those skills. I know that that's what people say if you meditate before an investigation or try to go in another direction with your sensations and all that, you can pick up on more. I just haven't had time to hone my skills. My mother was clairvoyant, so
Okay.
not
So
sure if that's related or not, but
it's in the bloodline for sure.
mm,
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, hey, Patriot. Yeah, because I guess I'm an empath, and it's like, yeah, I could actually get into more of that too. But when do you find time to hone in on those skills? Like, I'm too busy doing everything else to like.
yeah, I just kind of do a little thing when I get to a location. It's like, okay, everything's on. I can send. I need to go this way or that way. But I just, as I use that ability and go through investigations, that's what kind of flexes those muscles for me. I guess I don't really
Mhm.
try to do anything. I haven't, sat and tried telekinesis or anything like that. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of time for that. Got to work 10-hour shifts anyway every day. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So speaking of like when you get somewhere, you pick up on those vibes. Do you get those vibes like when you first pull up, or is it after you get inside? Like,
when I drive by
Mm.
the building, like there's a funeral home that I'm actively trying to get that's really close to here. I pass it every day, and I just like, okay, guys, soon we will talk because I know you're in
Mm.
there. They're just chomping at the bit to be investigated and tell their story, and
mhm.
that's what I kind of say. My moniker is "Tell us your story." Well, it works just the same for spirits as it does for the living people. I treat
Mm.
both the same. I want to hear their story. I want to hear what they're about. I want to hear who they were in life and what they did.
Right,
Gotcha.
right. Yeah. I think so many feel that they've been forgotten, that when you take the time and just let them, communicate with you and talk to you, which sounds weird, but when you get into doing it, like if you can get them to open up, whether it's using apps or whatever, and to be able, whoever's a medium, to let them talk and get their story out, they're much more better at just communicating
Sure.
in general because they don't feel forgotten at that point. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. A good example is that when I was at OSR, Dustin, who's a big debunker, he had that not Necronomicon, what is it called? Is that what it's called? It's an app for get it on
Mm.
a tablet. Starts with like necro something like that.
Oh, like the necrometer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he said we're going to come up with a password before we get started. We were down in solitary confinement. There was about 10 or 12 of us, and try to make this a short story, but he said we're going to come up with a password, and he picked a younger girl. He said, "Give me a word. Doesn't have to be paranormal or spooky or anything. Just any everyday word." And she said, "Cupcake." He said, "Perfect." So we all got to ask a question, and we come to figure out there's probably about 6 or 7 spirits participating in this whole process. But he said, when you ask a question, he said, don't make it a yes or no question. Make it like um, peanut butter or chocolate's my favorite candy. What's yours? And literally every person framed their question that way, and we all got a response. We got to the end, and he said, Spirit, he said, do you remember the password that we came up with before we started this? And there was a long silence. There was a couple of voices that we couldn't understand. And then a female voice said, cupcake.
Mm.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
That's
was, it
awesome.
It
was,
is
it was great. It was a great experience.
very
Necro
cool.
necrophonic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. 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 That, I mean, that's awesome. We're gonna have to try that, Tim.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
gonna
I don't
we're
know. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Because you can't confuse any answers with something it could be. Like if it says blue and it said blue because I'm wearing a blue shirt. No,
yeah.
it's random. You got to make it so it's specific and it can't be open ended. That's where you get your.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Go ahead, Tim.
I'm writing down and kind of writing notes and going along here. So sorry. Um, what I was going to ask you was about, what was it? Something, private locations. Have you ever, so I know you had the one private location that you went to, younger experience about seeing the vision in the window and that stuff.
Mhm.
Do you do a lot of them? Or is it, and what is your, do you cleanse the house? Do you clear it any? Do you anything like that?
I don't actively investigate other people's issues. I might offer advice. I have not, as of yet, went into somebody else's, somebody that I didn't know. Now, friends and family, yes,
Okay.
I've done that, but I didn't do any cleansing. I just basically did a walkthrough and gave them the feeling about what I felt. Um,
Okay.
I am thinking about bringing somebody onto my team that does help people figure out what's going on in their home. And that's something we're going to get into a little bit later on as we evolve.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to do. I've done a lot of house cleansing and stuff. It's something that I've taught, and you run it. It's too bad if people don't. Everybody thinks they're crazy, so don't ask for help till it's too late, and you have to go
but
do something drastic. So
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
far as that goes, and that's the bad side of it. Um, how about any major? So have you branched out a little bit farther than what you said? Have you been to anywhere like Alcatraz? You've been to Pinhurst? Anything like that?
I have not. They're all on my bucket list.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. Gettysburg is definitely on my bucket list. Alcatraz is definitely uh, Penn State, Waverly Hills. I probably should have been there by now, but I haven't been there yet.
Gotcha.
That's my
Gotcha.
next number one that I really want to go to because it's always super active there. So
Okay. So you're like everybody else. You got a bucket list. Yeah,
yeah,
we have
yeah.
one too.
I
We
mean,
have one too.
John Robinson Hospital is not huge, but it's been there forever. It used to patch up Al Capone's gang.
No.
Oh.
There's actually, I think Tommy Tombstone investigated there before I did. We got some great EVPs. My wife was along for the walkthrough, the initial walkthrough, and she got touched on the face in the basement twice. So it was very active. I saw a full body apparition. How the staircases used to be for the butler's quarters are just a small staircase going
Yeah.
from one kitchen to
Mm-hmm.
the other, upstairs to downstairs kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was outside where the nurse's dormitory used to be. I was getting some EVPs out there, and I got this sense that I was being stared at. Well, I turned around, and up in the window, full body of a patient. It was a male. And as soon as I locked eyes with him, he stepped to the left. Well, stepping to the left would have put him outside because there was no room to go anywhere. So
Oh,
he just disappeared. And actually, Maddie, who was on that investigation, came running out on the upstairs porch and she said, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Now I got validation that I saw it.
yeah.
So,
You all saw it.
yeah.
Good. That's cool. Shadows. Cool. So have you seen? Sounds like your investigations have a lot of activity every time you go. So there's a lot of things you experience.
Mm.
But, do you have so do you have evidence? I mean, is there something you can put out there so people can see?
Yes, I still have evidence I'm going to from Halloween. So, um, I do. I have a lot of good EVPs and a lot of good video. I just getting the
Okay.
time is hard. The hardest part. If I find somebody who's tech savvy and wants to
Yeah.
wade through all my evidence and get it posted, that'd be a good addition to my team. So
Oh,
let me put
cool.
it out there. If you want to do some editing and do some video and video shots,
There
look
you
me
go.
up because I need it done. Actually, I've only posted a couple different bits of evidence I had time to post. But getting
Okay.
ready for this event coming up has been monopolizing my time quite a bit. So.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Is that
Um,
your
go ahead.
is that your big announcement that you're going to reveal tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
You can do a little promo thing on here if you want, because I know you mentioned it. But if you want to wait and not say anything, they'll just have to come find you.
Well, this needs to be out there. So um, whenever you guys are done, I'll take a minute
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
and make the
Uh,
announcement.
Myra wants to know if you ever ask them about their favorite colors.
Sure, that's part of the question sometimes. Usually, things like, how old are you? Is anybody else here with you? Are you alone? Um, how did you die? That's a good one. Usually, what's your favorite color? Or if I was to say, my favorite color is blue, what's your favorite color? I would get an answer. So,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Danielle says, was honestly just about to put herself out there for hire to do audio and video review for paranormal teams.
there we go.
So there you go. You guys can connect after we're done and see if that is something that will work out for you.
Yeah.
Um, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was reading a couple of comments there so far and what was on there. So that's interesting. So,
Yeah.
what else? I guess, can you give us, I know they said a couple of places you really wanted to go back to. That was pretty interesting for you, as far as that goes. Um, and you do actually remote viewing. So tell us a little bit about how that works, because I'm curious to know how that takes place.
Catherine Cyrillos is a medium parapsychologist and a channeler. She's from Athens, Greece. She has been on countless hundreds of investigations over there and in Europe. Um, she has a fairly large team of people that she works with, but um, we met on Facebook and got to talking, and I asked her if she would be open to, being involved in some investigations. And like I said, the last time I was at Soup Cemetery, I sent her some video, and she reviewed it. And I was in one of the older parts of the cemetery, and she said, so there was a young man standing next to you, probably in his 20s, and he was wearing period costume, the buckles on the shoes and the whole thing, the knickers, I guess you'd say. And then there's also a young girl standing there next to the tombstones. And the interesting thing was when I was using my EVP meter, my EMF meter, and my cat balls, it didn't go off until I moved it closer to where she says that they were standing. But the odd thing about it was that Soup Cemetery has an infamous witch buried there. And her name is Elizabeth Soup, and she's the patriarch of the family that donated the land to the county. So she said that those children are there because she was keeping them from crossing over.
Oh,
And she was trying to use their energy to manifest things for other people that were trying to do spells and things on the property. Which upset me, actually, because I think those people are being tortured for not being allowed to cross over and they're being held against the will.
For
So,
sure.
but yeah, she was able to tell me everything that was going on. I hope to have her live with me on some investigations on our event weekend. So she's very busy. She doesn't have a lot of time. But yeah, she's definitely on my team, and she's very good at what she does.
that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty
For sure,
cool.
for sure. For sure.
There's,
Has has she ever given you any information that you've gone back and done research later and found the validation in that? Not, I'm not discrediting her by any means, but like when stuff is said and then you find it, you're like, oh, like that's totally awesome.
There's two tombstones there that correlate what she said their ages were. So,
Awesome. That's
right,
cool. That's
right
cool.
where they're supposed to have stood. I didn't dig any deeper into the names or any records or like that. But yeah,
That's awesome. Like I said, I'm not discrediting her by any means. I find mediums very fascinating. Um, just sometimes when you end up finding, you know, like they talk about something and then you're like, you find it, you're like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
the
Mhm.
aha moment.
Mhm.
Where Where is the wildest place you've been to, or your team's been to?
I think. Probably. Trying to think of the name now. There's the Tim South building. The name eludes me. There's a lot of activity there. What's that? Anyway, yeah, there was a lot of activity. Shadow people. I did a solo upstairs by myself, and there was a children's nursery with toys everywhere. And as soon as I sat down, all the hairs on my arm stood up. I was feeling a lot of electromagnetic, light, and heard some disembodied voices. I was almost pushed down the stairs. I was almost down the
Oh,
stairs, and I got pushed.
Wow.
And one of the guides said, "Hey, you gotta watch that because they will push you down the stairs." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice to know now," But I would have been holding on to the rail a little bit tighter. But
Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
the bird cell mansion. Now I really remember what I started talking about. But very narrow stairways, very old house, fireplaces and everything. But I was in the patriarch's room, and they always put fresh flowers in there for her, like almost every day, because that keeps her calm, keeps her from not ramping up activity. But I was in her room, standing in the middle of her room, and the door was open. And as I was looking out the door into another room, it slowly closed. And I got just a few seconds of video, but I got some pictures of it as it was closing too. But I thought, okay, somebody's messing with me, so I'm going to go from another vantage point and watch this door and see if I see anybody creeping around. So I go into another room and I'm watching the door. Sure enough, nobody in the room. Door closes again. So I came out and one of the security staff said, "Were you just in that room right there?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Well," he said, "I was going to go in." He said, "But I saw somebody or something standing behind you, so I came back out." I'm like, "You're a
oh,
security guy. You didn't let me know? I mean, come on. Thanks a lot, buddy." But no,
Left you in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
that's
That
That's
was an
crazy.
interesting experience.
That that's some wild thing. Yeah, that's
it is.
wild. That's crazy.
Sound like you
And
get a lot of activity everywhere you go. So that
Seems that
sounds
way. I don't know if it's because they're relatively new to the game or what, or I'm just being drawn to it because I'm sensitive. Maybe like, yeah, we'll show him some stuff.
yeah.
I think I think some of it has to do with the sensitivity levels, like being a sensitive. They know that they can come
Mm.
in your presence.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So they're more open to showing
Sure.
you that they're there.
yep, absolutely. It happened when I was working security job, and I went through a building that had a sawmill, and there was all kinds of sawdust on the floor, and I was just checking doors and stuff. I was working security, and I could sense somebody was walking behind me, and I stopped and turned around. I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are, but you don't belong here. You need to leave. And then I come to find out
Mhm.
that there was a young man who left work on his motorcycle one day, missed the S curve, and hit a telephone pole and died. And it was right there in that building. So I come to the conclusion that that's who it was. So I got his name, went back another night, got the same sensations, same sounds. And I turned around and said, "Look, I know, let's say, Joe, just for an example. Look, Joe, you don't belong here. You don't work here anymore. You don't need to hang around." Well, when I got to looking at the floor when I was walking through the first time, there was another set of footprints in the sawdust,
How
walking
cool.
behind mine. I'm like, okay, well, and people will do that sometimes, put chalk or sawdust on the ground and see if they can see something,
Mm-hmm.
go through it or walk through it. And
Sure.
he was definitely walking through it. And after I'd had that discussion, I think it crossed over because I hadn't heard or felt anything after that.
No, that's cool.
That's crazy. To
That'd be, that'd be pretty awesome, really. I think it'd be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. But to literally see another set of footprints
Yeah,
with
that'd be awesome.
yours, knowing that
Yeah.
you're the only one there, it
Yep.
kind of threw you off a little bit at the beginning. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's really cool to see, but then you're like, wait, who's
Wait a
here?
second. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of answered the question. Is somebody actually following me? Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We're
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, for sure. Uh, yeah, that okay, craziness.
yeah.
Um, I thought some of our experiences were crazy.
Mhm.
We're mild compared to you. Um, you could give one piece of advice to anybody who's starting out in investigating, what would it be?
do it for all the right reasons. Um, there's a speech that almost every paranormal investigator uses when they start an investigation, and I open and close an investigation with a similar speech. And basically, if anybody is on my team or excuse me, investigating under the umbrella of Shared Paranormal, and they provoke a spirit or badmouth a spirit or kind of goad them into showing them some activity, it's done. They're done. They're over. We're not going to investigate it anymore.
Mhm.
I treat the spirit world and everybody who's in it just as well as I do people who are alive.
That's good.
A little bit of that goes a long way, and
Hmm.
these
Yes.
people that are occupying these locations, sometimes I got to believe they're a little tired of the questions that they get. They're a little tired of the people coming in,
Hmm.
same old thing. They
Mhm.
don't embrace them and say, look, tell me your story. That's my whole
Hmm.
moniker. We're
Right.
here to figure out what you're all about. We're not here
Mhm.
to anger you or disrespect you or get you to do anything you wouldn't be comfortable doing if you were still alive. Just
Right.
tell us your story and know that
Exactly.
it's going to be told the way you want it to be told.
Mhm.
That's a very
Yep.
good point. Very good point.
Absolutely. Yep. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, so you guys do a lot of solo investigate? Do you do a lot of solo on your when you do your group? Is it you go by yourself a lot, or is it something that
Yeah,
you
we
do?
split up a little bit. Yeah, we split up.
Okay, okay, because a lot of people
Teams
don't do
and
solo.
then split up either
Okay,
before or after, and then collaborate with what happens after. Sometimes you'll be on a solo and you get some kind of evidence you want somebody to hear it like right now. Come and listen to
mm,
this. Um, I've had a mimic um, say my name. It sounded like one of your investigators, and I'm like, "What?" Go to them and say, "What did you want?" I didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, then I know what it was. Somebody wanted me to,
sure.
get closer to them. But
Okay,
that's probably the freakiest thing that happens when you hear a voice that you know is familiar to you and it's not yours or not
no,
theirs.
Mhm.
gotcha.
Mhm. For sure. For
That would
sure.
be, that would be interesting. So that I find that interesting. You guys do a lot of solo because a lot of people don't, for safety reasons or whatever the reasons may be, as far as that goes. So that's interesting to me that you do that. So when you do a solo, do you get clear across the building from each other? I mean, are you isolated just to yourself?
You have to be so there's no cross contamination. I mean, you have to
Okay.
be a good distance from each other.
Okay.
They give Project Fear, for example, they sleep on different floors so they
Oh,
don't
okay.
contaminate the evidence that they get. So, um, yeah, try to get as far apart as we can. Um,
Oh, okay.
Maddie's a great investigator on her own. I think I've got some skills, but Keely has not been on an investigation yet. She is actually in a wheelchair, and she has told me that she will get out of the wheelchair and crawl to a vantage point to get the evidence that she needs.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So it's like
Dedicated.
exactly. And then when I heard that, I'm like, you need to be on my team because you're a dedicated investigator.
Yeah.
So
No kidding. No kidding. That would be. Well, that's interesting. Solos. Huh. something I'd think about. So that's cool.
And if you're getting a lot of activity in your solo, I think it's a good idea to maybe pause and bring somebody else with you so they can experience the same
No.
thing you're experiencing. Obviously, there's got to be more than one person if you're doing the Estes method. Did
No,
that
sure.
at the old Jackson prison in Jackson, Michigan. Tons of activity during the Estes session. There was somebody who'd never been on an investigation before. One of my coworkers wanted to go, and she had the headphones on, and she had a blast. I mean, she heard a lot of stuff. So
That's cool. That's really cool. That so what was I gonna I was gonna say something else about it. Now I can't remember what it was. Ah, crap. I got sidetracked over that way. Go ahead.
Squirrel.
the first thing that goes, Tim.
Yeah, but
The
I
first thing
know.
that goes.
I don't remember what that is either.
Ah,
I forgot I
uh,
had amnesia. No.
yeah, part timers. Um, so, what investigations or projects do you have coming up that you're working on for this year?
We are probably before the summer's over. We're going to be investigating the Bruce Mansion. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Um, it's a pretty cool venue. It has new owners, and they're working on refurbishing it, fixing it up quite a bit. Um, I think we're going to go in groups of 10 on different nights and split up. Apparently, there's a lot of activity on the grounds. Um, and
And
go ahead.
what was the name of that? Sorry,
The Bruce Mansion.
Booth.
Bruce, Bruce.
Bruce.
Got it. Sorry, got it. I got it.
And like I mentioned, we want to go back with some more people to Soup Cemetery again because it's
Oh yeah.
very active. I don't know if you guys watched any of the live stream or the videos I posted on my page, but
Mm,
it's
no.
definitely worth the look. There's a lot of activity going on, music boxes going on, EVPs.
Yes. That's cool.
When you go to Soup Cemetery, do you do day? Do you do night? Do you do both?
We started when it was still daylight, and we got just as much activity. It kind of ramped up a little bit when it got darker, though. It seemed like it ramped up a little bit. Um, it's I did a promo. I think I was there like 50 seconds, and it was dark when I was there. I was doing it by the tail lights in my car. It was kind of cool video shot, but
Mm.
I was getting just overrun by creepiness. I mean, it seems like they're crawling out of the grave and they're coming towards me because it's like
Oh,
I got to get out of here. It's good.
Wow.
But that's the feeling you get as soon as it gets dark in there. That's the feeling you start to get.
Wow.
wow.
Gotcha.
Creep factor is like 20 on a scale of 10.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Most
When
definitely.
goosebumps have goosebumps, then you get.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
crazy.
Okay.
We're also gonna. I like to go to Nunica Cemetery, which is on the other side of the state. Like I did mention, Bachelor's Grove. That's another cemetery. Um, but eventually, I want to go back to John Robinson Hospital. That was a good place to go.
Mm.
And there's another pseudo ghost town, I guess, where Henry Ford's bungalow that he lived in up north. It was a mine. It was a sawmill town as well. And when they used to make veneer for the cars, for the dashboard and stuff, they made the veneer there. And after they stopped making Model A's, Model T's, and the cars kind of got newer, they just shut down. The whole town shut down. Everybody moved away. So um, it's active. You can actually rent his old former home and
Mm.
stay there and investigate if you want. So I'm going to check that out as well. That's on my bucket
Gotcha.
list.
Awesome. Awesome. Did you think of what you wanted to ask Tim?
No, it wasn't what I was going to ask. I was going to say, usually there's 5 of us to go at the most, and we usually split up sometimes into 2s or 3s. And when we do that, we seem to get more activity than you do if there's 10 people. You know what I mean? If you got a
Right.
large number of people trying to investigate compared to two people, so the advantage of being by yourself or with just two people seems to be when it's paranormal. That's what I'm
Yeah,
feeling.
I don't disagree. And Bruce Manson's going to have to be two at a time because it's very cramped inside. It looks huge, but when you see it online, you see it looks like a giant mansion. But the
Gotcha.
way it was built inside is kind of cramped. So
Oh, gotcha.
you can't have 10 people in there at the same time. There'd be too much contamination. And,
Oh,
Right.
yeah. We got a couple houses like that over here. Velisca being one. Velisca,
Mhm.
Max Murder House. You got five people in there. You don't. It's so the house is so small and it's so old. You can't move, and your stomach growls. You hear it upstairs. I mean, it's
mm.
unbad. So it's
So you
that kind
guys, are you familiar with Rhonda Burhow?
I'm not.
Okay, she was on my first episode of my podcast, and she talks a lot about the Axe Motor House. And is that in Iowa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's about an
she's
hour
from
and a half
Iowa.
away. So yep.
She's from Iowa, and she's got a hospital that she kind of oversees and
Yeah.
does tours.
Oskaloosa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, she was on my first episode, so it's worth a look.
Yep.
She's a great
I
person.
know. I know her. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I know of her. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
You got any questions for us?
Um, how do you find time to go over your evidence?
Ha.
Oh, goodness.
Well, um, it helps when you don't work.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, I actually like going over the evidence because I want to know. Like I want to know if we caught anything. Um, but when you have many hours and you're watching video and like nothing is happening, it's just kind of like, it's very
Hmm.
long and drawn out. Um, so a lot of times I'll break it up and I'll do um, several hours, like a couple hours, take a break from it, maybe go in and listen to some EVPs or, work on some video clips or something and break it up. But we do deep dive haunts, which is going over the investigations that we just did. So we kind of have to like get it done and watch. So when we do our podcast and review, it's like fresh in our mind what we did do or, like what we caught and stuff like that. Cause if you don't watch the evidence, you don't know what you caught,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah.
Sometimes I review on the fly. I mean, like when I'm there, I take a minute
Mm-hmm.
to
Good.
listen. I had like 16 minutes of audio from the investigation the other night, and I already caught a couple things I need to listen to again. So,
Sure.
yeah.
We have started doing like shorter EVP sessions, like 10, 15 minutes. That way, when we're listening to it, we're not listening to 35, 40, 45 minutes.
Mhm.
So, like, we'll let it run for a little bit and then we'll end it and then we'll start another one just to kind of keep them a little less daunting of having to
Mhm.
listen
Sure.
forever. So, that might be something that you might want to think about too. Warren area dropped by for a fast hello, thank you. Um, yeah, sometimes I don't know. I like going over the videos. I like going over the footage. Like that just adds to my obsession with the paranormal, I guess. So it doesn't bother me as much. I don't know, Tim.
You kind of relive
Uh,
where you were when it happened, and you're like, oh yeah, that's when I got that
yeah,
feeling, or that's when I thought I heard something. I did. So,
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So mainly, if you got like a security camera, if you have just a camera that's running all the time, watching paint dry sometimes is way more interesting than watching that video for 12 hours. And I get that. But I think that's the hardest thing to do is try to watch like a video that's 8 hours long or so forth. That is can get monotonous after time because you can only do it for so long.
Have you
Uh,
guys ever? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, no, no. I find
Um,
that the hardest part going over the evidence is like the security camera, long running film. So
have you guys ever heard something with your naked ear
yep,
but
Yes.
didn't get it recorded?
yep,
Yes.
How
all
about
the
have you
time,
ever recorded something but not heard it with your ears until
all
you
the
Yes.
reviewed
time,
the evidence?
all
Yes.
the
That's what
time.
happened at the Grand Lamar Hotel. I got for some reason this lady was gifted this longhorn skull, and the story behind this skull. In the middle of the afternoon, it casts a shadow on one side that looks like a female, like a silhouette of a female. And when the sun is in another position, the other horn casts a shadow that looks like a devil.
Oh.
Mm.
So I'm doing EVPs. I'm standing under it because it's on the wall, and I'm like, um, "Tell me about this skull. What is it about this skull that's so special? Is it good or is it bad?" That was the question. And the EVP I got was a male voice that said, "Good." Long
Oh,
drawn out word. And I'm like, when I played it back and I looked at my wife, I'm like, I don't think he's telling the truth.
Right. No,
yeah,
don't think so.
yeah,
Trying to
yeah,
Ugh,
convince me that you're good, but you're not.
yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
that's crazy. Warren says that they have a hard time going over audio. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Correct.
I I myself I would rather listen to audio because I can, like be jotting notes as I'm listening to everything. So audio is no big deal. It is harder for me to sit and watch a screen because, you know, I don't know. I don't have ADHD, but I have ADHD. And I want to be, there's 10,000 other things I could be doing
Mm.
versus watching that screen. So then I'm like, wait, did I see something? And then I have to back up. So,
just close the curtain so you don't see the squirrels playing outside. And you're
oh
good.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
that's
for
true.
real, for
That
real.
is true.
It sounds like Warren, though, needs to contact Danielle because she
Yeah,
might be affordable. And Warren might get his evidence, with that.
yeah.
And,
Yes, for sure.
so, Warren and Danielle, you guys collaborate on that project. See how that goes.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
for sure, for sure. All right. What is your big announcement?
Are you ready for this, everybody? It's a big
Yes.
announcement, the one you've been waiting for, starting at midnight tonight until midnight Saturday night. If you buy a ticket for the Parachaney camping weekend, you'll get one free.
Wow. And
You'll get a
how
companion ticket at absolutely no charge.
Wow.
and how do they get their tickets?
They get their tickets through eventbrite.com. There are also day investigation tickets that go from noon to midnight on Friday and noon to midnight on Saturday. So you
Okay.
catch a little daylight and you catch some nighttime. Those are half price. Those are $50 each per person. But I know it's a holiday weekend, so I made some adjustments to the scheduling and I made some adjustments to the pricing. Um, we will actually, I don't know if anybody knows about this, they can look it up, but there was one cabin that was left when Parachaney's town was burnt down. That cabin was saved and it was moved on skis to a farmhouse. We have exclusive permission to investigate that cabin.
Ooh, that's
As,
awesome.
as an added bonus, and it is extremely active. Just ask Tommy Tombstone who did the documentary. Um,
Oh, cool.
Do you have a link to that on your page
the tickets or the documentary?
for the event?
Oh, for the event, yes, I do. There's
Okay.
several. So there'll be an announcement that'll hit tonight. Like I said, it starts midnight. Um, there, the Crawford County Historical Society. There's somebody who works there who does just a section of the museum that has Parachaney artifacts, and she is the expert on Parachaney. She's going to do a historical presentation and answer some questions at the kickoff dinner before we start investigating on Friday night. Um, There are some giveaways. Northbound Outfitters has graciously donated an item for the drawing. So, that being said, um, you'll be entered in the drawing as well when you get your ticket for now and midnight Saturday.
Perfect. I'm trying. There it is. I was like, I'm trying to look up your page.
The main thing my focus is, I know there's some teams out there that are 4, 5, 6, 8 people. You can literally bring half your team for free.
Oh, for
You
real?
know, and
For real?
we will be able to collaborate, mix and match investigators, have a great time. There's a community bonfire, everybody can gather around. Um, there's been some food provided by it's either the Moose or the VFW. They're going to grill Friday night. Dunkin' Donuts is buying us breakfast on Saturday morning. We got coffee, hot chocolate, tea, and all the donuts you want. So a lot of great sponsors. The sponsors are on the event shirt. If you've seen it on the website, it just says basically Paranormal Campout 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And those shirts will be available to anybody who gets a free ticket. They'll be available for purchase. But the ticket holder gets all the merch, stickers, and the T-shirt and stuff. So
That's
Sure.
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I did put it in the comments, you guys. It's the Perry
Mhm.
Cheney event to check it out on Shared Paranormal's page. That is actually pretty. That's a pretty sweet deal.
yep, primitive
Yeah,
camping. Restrooms are
Cool.
provided. You don't have to dig a latrine, nothing like that.
yeah.
Um,
That's a pretty
anything you
sweet
want to
deal.
drink, Meyer is sponsoring that for us. So
Cool.
Perfect.
all you gotta do is bring
Wow.
your tent and your paranormal equipment, and you go for it. Now,
Well,
this might sound strange, but I recommend jumping on YouTube and doing a search for Parachaney and look at some of the videos that are on there, because there's some people that investigated that give you a really good idea of what we're going to get into up there.
Okay.
right.
There
For
were
sure.
1,500 people in town. The grave site, the cemetery only has 90 markers, and
Wow.
there were only 25 people left when the last plague went through. So there's a mass grave somewhere. I plan on camping right downtown where the center of downtown used to be.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
so
Perfect.
yeah, that's
Well,
that's the big announcement.
That's
awesome.
cool.
You guys heard it here first on a Deep Dive podcast starting at midnight tonight, running through midnight Saturday night. Buy a ticket to the Perry Cheney event, get one ticket free. That is awesome. And the information is over on the Shared Paranormals page. We have an investigation that weekend, so we are not able to go, but
Uh,
you know, but that's still an awesome deal. You guys will have to definitely check that out
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody check it out.
for sure.
we'll be doing as much live streaming as possible. The connection is not really great up there in the North Forest, but as much as we can do, we'll stream. We'll stream the investigation from the museum and the cabin. This should be a pretty good connection there. But
That'll be cool.
as much as we can post, we will post. So,
That's the thing. Like we all go to these locations and we're all like, yeah, we're gonna go live, we're gonna go live, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then we get there and we're like, there is no reception, there is not like we cannot do
Yeah.
anything at all.
Yeah.
worst
Yeah.
case, I'll use my phone as a hotspot and we'll go live anyway. But
Oh, there you go, there you go.
and as
Yeah.
far as I know, nobody's done a paranormal unity event like this.
Oh, cool.
There's some of them that are popping up, but I think we're the first. And if this is successful, if we make some friends and do some investigating together, and we can maybe make this an annual event. So it
That
might
would be
move.
Cool.
awesome.
It might move around unless people are like, hey, no, I want to go to Perry Cheney because I heard everything about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure. Sure.
Well, that's awesome.
so everybody get
For
your
sure.
tickets. I want to see everybody there.
Yeah. If you guys go check out the page. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, my screen's weird. But go
Oh,
check out Shared Paranormal's page. It's like right there.
Also, Instagram.
And Instagram.
Maddie handles Instagram and the Facebook page when I'm YouTube. So
okay.
YouTube, TikTok. Are you on all the socials?
all my podcasts are on YouTube. Yes,
Perfect.
I put
Cool.
all my podcasts on YouTube. No, well, there's a TikTok. It's under EMF guy, I think is my name on there, but I'm not really posting any content or just starting out. So. But the other ones are active.
Okay.
Facebook is active. The algorithm hates me because I post a lot of stuff. But
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
all you need to know is on there, and you can always drop me a line if you have any questions. I think I actually posted my actual phone number on there for last night's information. So if you want to text me a question, go ahead and text me a question. It's fine. And email is shared.paranormal@gmail.com.
Okay.
Ooh, shared. I'm trying to type it in the comments too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But when you have long nails, it's very hard to type. Normal at gmail.com. All right, perfect. I got it. All right. Well, any last questions or anything, Tim?
Nope, I don't think so. It's been a very informative. I've learned some stuff from you that we'll probably try in the future and get to going at. So that's
Nice.
always a good thing to learn from someone else. That's pretty cool. I would like to
That's
go to the event. I think the event would be awesome. I mean, that really would. So
that's
that,
why Parachaining, because I know there's some people that's never investigated before, and I know there's some seasoned investigators going to be there, and
sure,
everybody can be on even keel and come up with some great evidence.
That's
that would be
awesome. That's
that'd be a
awesome.
really cool deal. Nope, I don't have anything else. Thank you, Dave, for joining with us and sharing your knowledge and your stories with us. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate being on, guys. Thank you.
And as mentioned earlier, we do have our guest circle back. Um, we check in with them in a few months, see how things are going. We'll definitely want to know how the Perry Cheney event has gone or how it went, um, and all of that. But thank you guys for joining in tonight. Thank you so much, Dave, for being a guest on very short notice. That was very,
Hmm.
um, very
Yeah.
awesome of you. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And we will be back Sunday at noon with Ghost Quest Paranormal.
Hmm.
And bye. You can say bye, Dave. I'll let you.
Bye bye. Happy hunting.
Well,
Yes.
thanks.
And